everyone, and welcome to the General Hospital recap for November 13th. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps, and also be a beauty and hit that bell down below so you get notified every time we upload a new recap. Okay, so couple things. I am going to put a timestamp right here, so if you want to go directly to the recap, do not pass go, do not collect $200, you can do that. Skip to this time signature right here. But if you want to hear about the Tuesday incident, I'm going to give that to you real fast because I was going to film this video on Tuesday and I would have stayed up to date throughout the week and it would have been beautiful and it would have been lovely and the whole world would have celebrated. There would have been parades down the street, but that didn't happen. And it didn't happen because Jake went missing on Tuesday. So if you know this channel, if you know us at all, my mom's cat, his name is Jake. He's this little black cat. He's not so little. He's like a medium-sized black cat. And he loves her more than life itself. Every night he hugs her when he goes to sleep. Like, he sleeps hugging her. Like, I kid you not. I have pictures. I take pictures every night of him. Like, he's wrapped around her arm. Like, he's adorable. So Monday night, I'm knitting, we're watching TV, and it's like 9 o'clock or so, and I go, Ma, Jake isn't here. Like, it was a little odd, and she's like, oh, he's probably just sleeping upstairs, because he does that. Sometimes he doesn't come down till, like, she's asleep. We go to sleep early, and I wake up, I have work in the morning, and I go to work, and I get a text an hour or so later when my mom is getting ready to go to work, and she goes, Jake isn't here. And I'm like, what do you mean Jake isn't here? Like, what? What do you mean Jake isn't here? Where's Jake? So she searched for Jake, and he is a door charger. He does like to run through doors. And thankfully, my front door, we have like an enclosed porch, so if he runs out the front door, he's still contained. And we have this other door like from the side where it's like a room and then you go outside, so if he runs through that door, he's still contained. Well, we were trying to put together because he's not upstairs. He's not, if he runs through there. He wasn't in there. He wasn't in the front porch. Like, we had no idea where he was. And meanwhile, I'm at work, absolutely, like, out of my mind. My stomach drops because if you've ever lost a pet, Star got lost back in 2008 for a week, and I do not know how I survived that week. So I just feel so helpless, and, like, she has to get to work, she has to leave, and Jake is still missing. So when I get home, I go outside, first I opened a can of wet food in the house, because in this house, you open the can, and the cats just converge, okay? So if Jake was in the house, he would have come to the can sound. I go out into the other room, I open a can, and nothing. And I go into the front porch, and I open a can, nothing. And now I've gone through 3 cans of cat food, and the other cats are just like, woo, party time, we're eating the wet food, yeah. So I spent hours outside shaking the can. I filled it with like dry food, calling him. We're like, oh my goodness. So I'm looking outside because in our minds we've already thoroughly checked the house, right? So I'm outside and I'm like, oh my goodness, where's Jake? Jake. And then I had to go back to work. And throughout this whole ordeal, all day, I ate 1.5 slices of toast. That was my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? And we're just going out of our mind thinking of him out in the cold, and it's breaking our heart. At 5:30 every day, Jake goes to the front door because he knows my mom's coming home and he greets her at the door. I'm not even kidding you. This cat loves her more than life itself. So he goes to greet her at the front door. So we're like, okay, well, maybe when you get home, he'll be outside at the front door because he'll be awake. We're like counting down the minutes to 5:30. You know, I'm at work and I'm just like watching the clock. So she texts me, she goes, I'm home. And then, you know, she's outside, she's calling him, and to no avail. There's no Jake, and we're just like, oh my goodness, like, and how are we going to approach the neighbors and ask if they've seen him? He's a black cat with no identifying features. Like, he's kind of friendly and he answers to Jake, but he doesn't if you're not me or my mom. So like, how are we gonna do this? We're gonna have to tell the neighbors because they need to be on the lookout for him. So we're like going through our mind how we're gonna do this. So I get home from work and still no Jake. So I walk into the house and I go, hey Jake, if you're playing the world's best practical joke, then like it's time to wrap it up. Like, it's not funny anymore. And then I put the ducks to bed. And I'm still texting with my mom. We're checking base. She had gone upstairs to get out of the cold, regroup, because we're going to spend all night outside looking for Jake if that's what we have to do. I come back in, so now I'm in the house, but I'm not in the main part of the house. I'm in that room that, like, you can go outside. That's not the porch. My house is weird. And I get a text from her that said, he is here. Well, I didn't know if that was like, you know, he's here, we're gonna find him, like, motivational, like, he is here, or if it's like, hey, he's right here, I found him, right? So I'm texting her back, I'm like, in spirit, or have you found him? And it's then that I hear, because me and my mom, as you could tell, I don't speak at a normal human level. And I get that from my mom. Neither of us know how to speak at a normal human level. Like, this isn't just for the camera. I actually speak this out. So I hear, Jakey, oh, Jakey, blah, blah. And I'm, like, trying to get my outside boots off, and I'm, like, kicking him. I stumble back in the house. Like, I think I fell, and I see her upstairs holding him, and I, like, deck it upstairs, and I'm like, Jake! Jakey! Oh my god, and Jake is like this, he's rubbing, he was starved for attention. I'm like, where was he? Well, keep in mind that throughout the day, I had gone upstairs to just check if he was up there, and she had called him upstairs in the morning, like, we had checked upstairs. Well, he was upstairs the whole time. He was never cold, he was never outside, he was never even scared, he doesn't even know he was lost. He slept a whole day, and he was fine. He comes out, he's meowing, he's happy. He doesn't know that I was freezing all day looking for him, and he's happy. He's home. He was home the whole time. And so the moral of the story is Jake's okay. But let's get to the recap now. In Pennsylvania, Alexis is in Lambview, and we see Nora Buchanan in her office. Now, I never watched One Life to Live, so I can just imagine the One Life to Live people are like, oh my goodness! And I'm just like, I know this is significant! Alexis has an urgent matter to discuss with her. Julian was sentenced as Liv Jerome's accomplice for 15 years in prison, and he's been targeted and beat in prison. Alexis says Olivia Jerome is the only person who can help. Julian was convicted because there was no statement from Liv to say that she had coerced him the whole time and forced him to do these things. If Liv does make a statement to that effect, it would help his appeal, and Nora's like, yeah, no, because it could lead to reevaluation and self-incrimination. Nora says that Liv doesn't need any more lawyers if Alexis is looking to get involved, and Alexis is like, wait a second, who's paying Olivia Jerome's legal bills? Because it's not her. At Crimson, Nell sneaks back into Crimson. Maxi catches her and doesn't believe her lie about picking up her last paycheck. Maxi threatens to call security, and Lulu comes in because Lulu's a new security guard. Just kidding. Maxi gets Nell out of there, and Nell says that she'll come back later, and Maxi's like, yeah, don't bother. Bye. Lulu questions what's going on with Nell, and Maxi basically says that Carly was right. Lulu is picking up an engagement gift for Laura and Kevin. It's this weird sculpture thing that almost looks like you stuck a candle on a big needle and it's like to the side like this. It's super weird. I have no idea. If you know what that thing is, please let me know because I have no idea. Maxi shows Lulu the Mrs. Asmanlander's article. She thinks it's cute. It's a nice read. Maxi says her part of the origin story may be a bit exaggerated. Nathan would rather there be less detail in it, but she wants the detail. Lulu thinks that Maxi is jealous of all the attention Nathan's getting, and Maxi says the article is helping boost her career. Like, why shouldn't she get something out of this? And Lulu says, you know what, actually, I'm a little jealous. Maxi's gone so far in her career, and it makes Lulu question where she is in life. And Maxi's like, look at you. You have a family and a business. And Lulu feels that the Haunted Star is pretty much running itself at this point, and the kids are at school all day, and she wants to do more with her day. She wants to, you know, Maxi wants her to come back and work at Crimson, and Lulu's like, I'd love to, but I can't. The Charlotte issue, the Nina issue, I'm not going to be working for Nina. Lulu used to daydream about being an investigative reporter, but who would hire her? She'd be starting at the bottom. What if she can't keep up? And now she feels like she's a coward. And Maxi's like, no, you're not a coward. You're strong. I believe in you. And I believe in you too, Lulu. At the floating rib, Michael is getting a drink. Nell comes in. She's ordering a drink too. Michael says hi. And then she's like, never mind, I'm just going to leave. And Michael's like, wait. We can be civil. Like, we don't have to avoid each other like the plague. She says that she's had a bad day. She just wants to have a drink in peace. And he says that she doesn't have to leave. They can be peaceful. You know, no animosity. He's not the one who's been lying the whole time. He didn't say that. I did. So now they're gonna sit together because they can't just be like civil in separate corners. They got to sit together. She tells him that she's not working at Crimson anymore. Nina let her go just like that. And then she said, yeah, there's a reason. Maxi Jones. Oh, definitely. Yeah, it was all Maxi's fault. Maxi obliterated her career. I mean, really, how can we even root for Maxi anymore at this point? Maxi targeted her from the moment she got there, putting her stuff on Nell's desk and throwing Nell's reputation around. And since Nina's her sister-in-law, she gets to stay, and Maxi is forcing Nell to wait until payday for her final check. And Michael's like, well, that's normally how it is, but you know, how good Maxi isn't there? Another desk she could put her stuff on, blah, 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 blah. Getting Michael kind of riled and on her side. And Michael says that she can take her time with the rent. And also, Nell should push back and stand up for herself. Michael, have you learned nothing? She's probably not telling you the truth. Come on. She'll give it a shot, and Michael's paying for the drinks because he's just such a gentleman. At J. Sam's place, Jordan's tests show that both Jasons are DNA matches to Jason Morgan. They share the same DNA. So poor Charles Jason says at first, if these tests are right, then they must be twins. Steve Burton Jason says how Elizabeth told him yesterday about the identical twin thing. Sam says they found out from Franco. Sunny and Carly are like, can we be looped in? Because we have no idea what either you were talking about. So Jordan and them are all looped into everything. Poor Charles Jason calls Steve Burton Jason Drew. And Steve Burton Jason is like, I've always been Jason. I've never had another name. And Sunny tries to mediate. They're both telling the truth as they know it. Neither of them are like being lying liars. Jordan says Helena had Jason Morgan's fingerprints erased from the PCPD database. And Carly says there has to be a hard copy somewhere. Jordan's gonna look into it, right, Misha? Misha wants to run around. Oh, Misha wants to run around. They can't find Betsy, and she'd be the one to have the answers. And Sam says, let's do the next best thing. Back at the floating rib, Carly and Sunny are there. They talk about Sam's love for Drew and how it's nothing compared for her love for Jason. At Lisa Frank's, which is what I'm calling Elizabeth and Franco's place because it's like Lisa Frank. Is it me, or has Elizabeth's house gotten a little bit of a makeover? Franco made a nice evening for them, and Elizabeth is distracted by the Jason apocalypse. She knows Franco isn't happy that she did what she did, and he asks what it was like to see Steve Burton Jason. And she says, like, she fell backwards 5 years, and he asks if she's still in love with him, like she was. And she says, I'm in love with you, no matter what. And he loves her, too. She asks him to drop the charges. It'll be a show of good faith and to show that he really has changed. There's someone at the door. Someone really wants to come in. It's Scott. He tells Franco to tell the truth, and Franco says that they already all know about the twin thing. They just think Andrew Moore died at 3. You know, not much that he's holding out on. Scott tells Franco to tell the Jasons who's who, and Scott doesn't think the stairs incident should be holding him back, and honestly, I think it's kind of stupid too. He has the piece of paper from Andre. It would clear everything up. Franco now feels Elizabeth is still in love with the Steve Burton Jason though, and he'll lose her to Jason, and Drew will want to go and rebound with Liz and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, but she was also in love with poor Charles Jason. So again, weak argument to just hold back the truth. So Elizabeth comes back and they all go inside. There's another knock at the door, and it's Jordan, Jason squared, and Sam. They talk about how their DNA matches. They need to know if there's more to the story. And Franco's like, there is. He tells them Andre gave him the death certificate, and then says Andre cleared out before he could find out anything more. Thank you. At General Hospital, Nathan swings by to see Amy. She's upset. Chet is still a little bit off. She can't get through to him, but maybe Nathan can. So they go into Chet's room. Nathan says he's here as a friend to Amy. He's been injured in the line of duty as well and has lost fellow officers, colleagues. Chet recognizes him as S-Man Landers. And he does want to be alone though, but he seems a little bit softer towards Nathan. So maybe it's that kind of thing where you lash out at your loved ones because they're your loved ones and you know they'll always be there. Maybe it's kind of that kind of thing Chet's going through with how he's treating Amy. Nathan offers Amy some advice. He pushes her away because he loves her and doesn't want her to see him like this. She doesn't have to let him push her away though. And now end scene. Alexis wants to know who's paying Nora. Nora won't say. This is an ethical boundary, and Alexis will not be stonewalled. Amy comes back into Chet's room. He's being discharged in the morning, and he'll be staying with her. She's demanding it. She'll have him committed to the psych ward if he doesn't. She is not going to give up on him, even if she has to not give up on him by force. Okay, Amy. Okay. All right. Nathan comes to see Maxi, and Nell overhears Maxi and Nathan talking about the truth about S-Man Landers. No! But you know what? If she's gonna go full Lisa Niles, then I'm down for it. Sunny and Carly are discussing. Sunny is more concerned Jason's not going to fight for Sam. Jason squared leave Lisa Franks. Liz is confused. Why would Andre provide a death certificate? Franco doesn't know. Liz hopes they find Andre soon, since he's the only person who can tell them which one is Jason, and Franco looks at his piece of paper that Andre left on the printer that tells everything. Poor Charles Jason is really territorial about Sam. Sam tries to mediate. They all have to work together and they all have to get along. And Franco burns the document from Andre that would have cleared all this up because he is an upstanding member of society and we can't forget that. Thank you so much for watching and bearing with me this week. I didn't expect this week to take a turn to the left, but then it did. So I'm going to try to film one more before I go to work and I will see you in 2 seconds. Alright, bye!